Okay, here's my current problem right now. I've got this Skyartec F-16 and I crashed it pretty bad. The canopy was broken into 10 different pieces just by itself. The whole nose cone was gone, wings were gone. I replaced the corner of a wing there with another piece of styrofoam. This thing was pretty beat up. All the electronics came out, but all of this was repairable with a little bit of hot glue and some tape. It'll fly again, but my biggest issue is if you see that small piece of plastic right there, that actually came from my engine duct, which the motor, all 4 tabs holding it in place, the blades, everything, broke loose. You can see a big gash right here in the side where that mounts in. Well, that's pretty much ruined. I was walking through the house today and I saw this can of paint sitting on the counter with these, and I got to looking at the cap and I was like, wow, you know, that looks fairly similar to this engine duct. And when I compared it in size, it was identical. So as you can see, the duct fits right on there. I cut the cap, the top of the cap off, to where I actually came up with this. It's the flat black cap, and I made some extra spars inside. That one is actually made from a Fender guitar pick. If you can see, it's a Fender heavy guitar pick. There we go, Fender heavy. This side is made out of a popsicle stick, and that one was made out of an extra piece of plastic. All 3 of those spars had broken off and disappeared on impact, and it's exactly 64 millimeters inside. It surprised the hell out of me. So right now I've got it hot glued in, and I'm gonna replace some of that hot glue with 5-minute epoxy, and as you can see, it turns fine inside there without rubbing, and there's almost no clearance between the blades, and I mean the paint cap was exactly the same size. So I'll show a little bit more here shortly. Alright, you can see I just got it mounted in. I just hot glued it in place. On the normal Skyartec motor is screwed in from the back side, but I took that little small chunk out that was laying in there and I just hot glued this one in place. You can see a little bit. I got some hot glue on the side right there, a little bit right there, and then I've put some underneath it, you know, when I pressed it into place. And on the Skyartec, where the screws normally go, there's an access hole right there, and I also put some hot glue in it to somewhat hold it in place. So let's try this thing out with my little paint cap ducted fan tunnel here. I've already got the battery hooked up. Seems to be working. We'll see. Alright, this is the test of my paint cap fan duct. This thing's been taped back together so much it's a lot heavier than it was, so if it doesn't fly I won't be surprised. But we're going to give it a shot, a little 99-cent fix. Not bad for a paint cap. It's definitely tail heavy and flying off because I've got so much glue in the plane now, but for the most part, after you get it trimmed back out, it doesn't have any unusual characteristics. Paint cap seems to be hanging in there. If you're anything like me and you've ever ordered any parts for these planes, it comes from China and it takes you about a month to get it. the new fan duct was about $7, and the shipping on it was only about $6 or $7. But again, you got to wait about 15 days for the shipping. That can of paint cost me 98 cents, and about 20 minutes worth of work. You got a brand new fan duct. Seems to be doing pretty well. At low RPMs, sounds like I have a little misbalance. I actually had to glue one of the blades back on to my fan, so the fan's a little out of balance. And at lower RPMs, you can hear it. I guess we'll just run it wide open. Alright, that was it. Good flight, I would say, considering how heavy the plane is from all the tape and glue and everything that I've used to piece it back together with. This plane has been officially known as Humpty Dumpty. The last time I crashed it, it was in about 30, maybe 25 to 30 different pieces, and it's considerably heavy. I'd say 2 or 3 ounces heavier now than it was when I got it. And it doesn't seem that I lost any thrust from that. I can go just as fast and have just as much maneuverability now with the paint cap in there. So I think with a fresh fuselage and wings, this thing would be great with that. But if you have a local hobby shop you can get a new one from, I suggest that. But if not, like I said, 98 cents and 20 minutes worth of your time, you could have a perfectly good fan duct for it's a 64 millimeter though. If you have a larger jet, you may have to find something else that would work. But for 64 millimeter, paint cap worked just fine, and it's a nice fix. So that's it.